Welcome to this CyCon machine learning tool tutorial. In this video, we're going to be talking about the dummy classifier. So a brief introduction to classification. This is a machine learning technique that sorts data into categories, and it allows the algorithm to make predictions based on new input features. So for this visual example here, you'll see that the data is clustered into three main groups. The algorithm is able to recognize those three groups and categorize the data as such. Then, if you input a new data point, the algorithm should be able to classify that data point within one of these three predetermined categories. The dummy classifier uses basic rules to classify data. These include always predicting the most frequent class, randomly predicting a class based on the distribution of the training set, or always predicting a specific class. It does not learn relationships between features and the target variable from the input data. The dummy classifier provides a baseline to help ensure other more complex classification models are learning useful patterns from the data, and it is designed to serve as a means of comparison. It should not be used as a standalone model since relationships in the data are not learned. There are multiple types of dummy classifiers. The most frequent classifier predicts the most frequent class in the training data, and it's used when the class distribution is uneven. The stratified classifier outputs random predictions based on class distribution in the training data, and it is also used when class distribution is uneven. The uniform classifier outputs random predictions with uniform probabilities for all classes, and it is used in situations where the dataset is balanced and the class distribution is unknown. The constant classifier predicts a constant value, and it is used when there is no correlation between the input features and the target variable. So for this visual example, you can see that in the original label, there are 5 blue data points and 2 red data points. The stratified classifier makes random guesses based on the original class distribution, so it keeps that 5 blue to 2 red ratio. The most frequent classifier picks the most frequent class, so since the blue data points outnumber the red data points, it will predict that all data points are blue. And then the uniform classifier randomly picks any class for the data points. The benefits of the dummy classifier are that it is simple. It provides a baseline performance to test against other models. It helps identify overfitting when compared to complex models, and it is fast and uses minimal computational resources because it doesn't learn from the training data. However, since it doesn't learn from the training data, it has very limited predictive power and is often inaccurate. It lacks feature importance, so it doesn't tell you what features are important when making predictions. It can't handle complex real-world problems very well, and it has to be used along with other more complex models. For our example today, we're going to be using phytomining data, so let's go over what that is a little bit. Phytomining is the cultivation of special plant species with the goal of harvesting them to obtain metals from soil. Input features for this type of data may include classification information, the accumulated element, and element concentration within the plant. So for our data set today, we have data based on the global hyperaccumulator database. We have higher classification, the order and clade, family, genus, and species of the plant, the element that the plant hyperaccumulates, and then at what concentration the plant hyperaccumulates that element. So the algorithm doesn't work with labels with letters very well, so we actually have to pre-process the data and convert all of the word labels into number labels. So that's what has been done here. And for our actual evaluation, the target variable will be that higher classification. All right, so this is the CyCon machine learning tool. I already named my project and put a short description talking about how I'll be using the dummy classifier to work on data from the global hyperaccumulator database. For my data type, I've already selected tabular, and I've uploaded my CSV file with my pre-processed hyperaccumulator data. For my target label, like we talked about, I'm going to pick higher classification. For method, I'm going to pick machine learning algorithm. And then for class is dummy classifier. For my evaluation metrics, I'm going to pick accuracy and then click perform. So this gives me an accuracy of 0.95. I can use this accuracy value or any of the other evaluation metrics here to provide a baseline comparison to more complex models that I make to work on this data set in the future. This has been the CyCon machine learning tool tutorial. Thank you for watching.